Live from New York, it's DNVR Buffs Live.
Nation.
Let's go.
Squad. Let's go, baby. Live from New York. It's DNVR Buffs Primetime. Presented by our great friends over at Raising Cane's.
Oh, man. Shout out Raising Cane's.
The homies.
They really made it happen for us out here.
Literally, yes.
For real.
That's really sick.
Shout out to them. Oh, whoa.
Also, shout out to New York Vintners, where we are sitting right now.
Yeah, we're like 40 feet below the ground right now.
Yes, for those of you who have been around the Buffs for a long time, you will know the name William Whelan. In my opinion, like the GOAT of Colorado basketball reporters, and I don't even know if that's necessarily debatable in any way, but also covered the football team and hired me into this business.
Wow.
At a certain point, decided that he was going to move his life into the wine business. So we'll talk to him later. But now he runs this joint, and it's a vibe in here.
So we have to credit Will for all of us being here.
Yeah.
And at DNVR.
He pretty much hired me then.
Yes.
Shout out Will, man.
He also gets the credit for Allie and I's relationship. So
Wow.
he's a very important figure in my life.
Yeah, no joke.
And what a fine establishment we're in right now.
Yeah, this is crazy.
This is one of the coolest spots I might have ever been in, especially for my first time being in New York. I feel like I'm in New York right now.
Yeah,
doing some New York stuff right now.
If you're like a big baller out here in New York, you should become a member here.
Oh, yeah.
Like, just unbelievable wine selection, unbelievable bar. The entire setup here is just like crazy.
Elite.
Like you like go through like a tunnel and then all of a sudden you open up to like an art studio or like it's crazy.
Basketball court.
Basketball court, yeah.
Yeah, man.
It just keeps going, too. Like, you just turn a corner, there's a hallway, and it's just forever.
Yeah, we also put the mood lighting on in here. It's a vibe.
You see it.
Yep. What's up, chat?
Squad.
Lots to get to today. Travis Hunter, though.
Oh, him?
The reason why we're here, the guy, the man, the myth, the legend, just racking up the awards.
Yeah.
Last night wins the Bednarik Award as the best defensive player in college football.
Sounds about right.
The best defensive player in college football.
And he also plays cornerback, which is weird because the Jim Thorpe Award.
We'll get to them later.
Oh, okay. And he won the Fred Biletnikoff Award.
Wait. So you're telling me the guy who won the best defensive player in college football award also won the best wide receiver in college football award?
Yep, crazy, huh?
That can't be right. That can't be possible.
Well, what if I told you he wasn't done last night?
Oh.
He won the Walter Camp Award, one of, 50 awards out there for the best player in college football.
He also won the AP National College Football Player of the Year.
Yes.
That would make sense if it's true that they're saying he's the best defensive player in college football and the best wide receiver in college football at the same time.
Yeah, and then we talked about it yesterday, but he signed to Adidas, too.
He did. No comment.
Fair enough. But the guy is just...
Congratulations. That's my comment, actually.
The guy's racking it up, man. And tomorrow, the most prestigious award in college football will be handed out.
I would say the most prestigious award in sports.
Interesting. I'm not going to fight back on
I'm sure
that.
like some European soccer fan would be like, you don't know about the Ballon d'Or? But I don't care.
Is that a real thing, or did you just make that up?
Yeah.
No. I've actually never heard of that. That has a cool name, though.
I know ball, bro. I know Ballon.
But yeah, man. This dude he had one of the greatest seasons we've ever seen from a college football player. He is one of the greatest college football players of all time, and now he's getting all the awards to prove it.
Yeah, I mean, first player in history all of college football history to win the Bednarik and also the Biletnikoff. Of course, he's the first to do that because that doesn't even make sense to the average mind. But what we are now witnessing, and we didn't know like before last night, like we've been very confident about the Heisman because he is the best player in college football. But we didn't know if he was going to get the individual like sectioned off awards, right?
Right.
Because part of his greatness is his ability to do it on both sides of the football. So I certainly could have seen a world where they're like, well, he is the best, but like, you know, the best wide receiver is this guy or that guy. And like, I wouldn't have agreed with that. We could have seen it. Now that he has all of this hardware that he has to, you know, put into his luggage, probably going to go over the weight limit to take back to Colorado. Now we can start to talk about this being the most decorated season in the history of college football.
It has to be. There's not anything coming close to this from an individual perspective. Again, on both sides of the ball, we've just never seen anything like it. And I just feel lucky to be here in New York, obviously celebrating Travis about to win a Heisman, but just being able to just witness what he's been able to do this season on the football field. And it's just special, man. It's been the crazy ride that feels like we're almost nearing the end of.
No.
But it's been fun. I know I've enjoyed it. I'm sure all of you out there in Buff Nation have enjoyed it for sure, too.
It's just crazy to think about, you know, where the season has taken us. Like, you know, everything from the Stampede to now we're, like, parading around New York City today.
Yeah.
It's just like, man, like, everything we could have dreamed of this season other than, you know, we would have liked to make a stop in Dallas.
Sure, of course.
Maybe Atlanta, you know, one of those places. But when you go back and, like, you know, when you think about the things that we were telling people in our office –
God.
You know, like when I was planning the Stampede, it's like, so are they going to be all right? And I'm like, yeah, they're going to be good for sure. And like, just looking back now, as we sit here in New York City, waiting for the Heisman ceremony, it's just like this season lived up to the hype.
Oh, it 100% did. Travis is obviously one of the stories of the season, but this team, man, I mean, the fight that they showed, and we're not done yet. We have a big game against BYU.
Yep.
We'll get to Travis's press conference. He kind of talked about that, playing in the bowl game and what it means and all that. But that's a chance to make a statement. There was a lot of talk about BYU and Colorado this season because they didn't play each other.
Yeah.
And now we actually have that chance to see it unfold. But first, we have some more hardware to collect.
Absolutely. That's going to be a fun matchup.
So let's go award by award here, though. Talking about these, who were the other finalists for the Bednarik? Thought you would know that off the top of your head.
Well, I can tell you who the finalists are.
Let's go to the Biletnikoff first.
Okay, thank you.
We know that one because people have really been wringing their hands, clutching their pearls over this one. Travis Hunter wins the Biletnikoff Award over Nick Nash, who a lot of people just heard of for the first time last night. Now they're his biggest fan. And also
remind the people what school he goes to.
Yeah, San Jose State.
Right.
San Jose State. And also Tedero McMillan from Arizona. And this one, I almost feel like now it all happened within a vacuum of one like few hour period.
Yeah.
But people were acting like this was just the greatest injustice that Travis Hunter won the Biletnikoff Award as the nation's best wide receiver. And what's crazy about it, and Jake, you did such a great job of summarizing this on Twitter. Like, of course, everyone's, they know ball now because they've looked at a stat sheet.
Right.
And so Nick Nash won the Triple Crown, which, first of all,
only happened 4 times.
Yes, we don't ever like discredit these guys.
Yes.
That's a great achievement.
A very impressive feat.
Yes. He had a fantastic season. He did it in the Mountain West. He had some big games against FCS schools. He had a really big game against Kennesaw State. This is their first year in FBS. I think I said FBS, but I meant FCS for the other one. But again, not taking anything away from him, very worthy finalist of the Biletnikoff Award. Tedero McMillan, we know him well. Put up big numbers again this season. A very good receiver. To act like Travis Hunter has no business winning the Biletnikoff Award requires such a removal from reality and such a step away from what this award has been, and also a an outward effort to not understand football.
Yeah, it's like parading their ignorance.
Yes.
And like they're proud of it.
Yes.
It's just a bunch of rage bait, honestly, online when it comes to this stuff. Like, these guys don't care about Nick Nash. They didn't watch a single one of his games.
I mean, Dalvin had such a great tweet showing what the Biletnikoff poll online, how
Yeah.
it was. It was like 47% Travis, 45% Tetaroa, and whatever's left, 6% to Nick Nash. Like, no one cared about Nick Nash until last night.
Yeah. And now he's like the biggest story in college football, and he got robbed, apparently.
Yes. But I think you should go back through what you posted because, again, all apparently anyone ever cares about now is stats.
Yes.
Even Mountain West stats.
So.
And it's never been about stats.
No.
Y'all heard that 50 Cent? Where's that 50 Cent coming from?
Yeah.
It's kind of banging in my ear right now.
Don't tell YouTube, bro. We'll get in trouble.
Yeah, you got to keep that quiet, bro. All right. So, someone, decided to make a tweet just highlighting everything that Nick Nash has done this year.
Again, amazing season.
Yep. Which, by the way, credit to him. He finished the year first in receptions per game, first in receiving yards per game, and in touchdowns in the country out of FBS. Everyone, every receiver in the FBS level. And so, I mean, you can just go look at last year's Biletnikoff Award winner, right? You can pull up last year's stats.
Everyone can Google that.
It's pretty easy to do that stuff. You can actually go all the way back to the foundational, first year of the award.
Yeah.
And find all this stuff out. So I went back. Marvin Harrison Jr. won the Fred Biletnikoff Award last year. He finished 43rd in the country in receptions.
That seems low.
10th in the country in receiving yards. 3rd in the country in touchdowns.
How did voters know that Marvin Harrison Jr. was obviously the best receiver in college football with those numbers? How did they know that?
No, he shouldn't have gotten it, right? He didn't finish first.
That's crazy.
And you could definitely make a case for Malik Neighbors to have won it last year.
And his teammate, Brian Thomas, who led the nation in touchdowns.
Exactly. The point is, though, that award had nothing to do with stats.
Exactly.
And
when you know.
Yes. And there was no, and guess what? You know what Travis Hunter and Marvin Harrison are going to have in common? Early first-round picks.
Yes.
Yes, exactly. So, yeah, and then I went back even further. If you go to 2022, Jalen Hyatt. And
people were pissed about that.
Look, he had a great game against Alabama, had 5 touchdowns or whatever it was, and that's what got him drafted in the second round. It's why he won the Biletnikoff, basically. But in 2022, he was 41st in the country in receptions, 5th in receiving yards, and 2nd in touchdowns. That same year, there was a wide receiver you might have heard of. His name was Tank Dell.
University of Houston.
He plays for the Houston Texans.
Yes.
Was really good as a rookie.
Yeah.
Yes.
He finished that season 2nd in receptions, 1st in receiving yards, and 1st in touchdowns. Did not win the Biletnikoff.
What did Tank Dell and Nick Nash have in common?
G5.
G5. This was before Houston was in the Big 12 Conference, if I remember correctly. And that is very, very bad news for the Genty Bros.
Yeah.
Because not only did Nick Nash not win, and this is, again, a thing that I don't think a lot of people are paying attention to, he got 3rd.
Yeah.
Of all the finalists.
Yeah.
And so what those voters, who I don't know the overlap between the voters of the Biletnikoff and the voters of the Heisman, there might be none. What those voters determined was that Mountain West stats aren't worth as much, which is the correct determination when it comes to a national award.
Yes.
It's harder to do what Travis did, being 2nd in all of these categories, and especially in the Power 4, than it is to do what Nick Nash did. And again, I put this out, and people have taken issue with it, and I don't care because I stand on it 100%. I think if you asked every college coach in the country and every pro coach, you can only have one. You can only have one, and Travis Hunter, if you pick him, he can only play receiver. He cannot play cornerback for you as well. Who do you want? I would venture to guess over 90% of all pro head coaches and all college head coaches would choose Travis Hunter.
Absolutely.
I feel like there's also just a disbelief among people about what Travis is really doing. It's almost, and this is maybe a weird analogy, so kind of stay with me here, but the people back some years ago who would just say, shut up and dribble. Don't talk about politics and stuff. Do your job. Do what you're supposed to do. I feel like people want to put him into a box. If you're a receiver, be a receiver.
Yeah.
If you're a cornerback, be a cornerback. But you can't do both. But Travis Hunter can do both.
Yeah.
And he does do both at a very high level, arguably better than anybody has ever done it at the college football level. And I feel like that just pisses people off that they can't put him into a box or just call him, he's a good receiver, but or he's a good cornerback. But no, he's actually all of that and then some. Yeah. And you just got to deal with it. And he's also coached by Deion Sanders, who you probably also don't like, but that's also just part of it. And shout out to Coach Prime, too. It's just, we talk about this. People know this, but I feel like we wouldn't be getting this Travis Hunter if Deion Sanders wasn't his head coach.
Absolutely not.
And we should be lucky and blessed that we live in the timeline that Deion Sanders coaches Travis Hunter.
And so one of the things that, I mean, just on Twitter and stuff and, whatever, obviously it's Twitter, but everyone always says, well, how many other players could have done this if they had the opportunity? Like, that's always one of the arguments. And it's like, probably none.
Zero. Jamar Chase literally this week said that. I couldn't do that. Les Miles tried to get me to play DB at LSU, and I told him, no, I'm not going to do that because that's just a ridiculous toll on my body, and I'm trying to get to the NFL, talking about Jamar Chase.
Yeah.
And obviously Travis Hunter's trying to do that too, but he's doing it, and he's going to continue to do it at the next level as well.
You remember that post that came out recently? It went viral when Coach Prime was talking about how his players are playing in the bowl game.
Yeah. And
someone posted and said, like, Coach Prime is literally who everyone would want to be their coach.
Yes.
And he catches all this hate. Mm-hmm. That, first of all, is as true as it gets. Mm-hmm. The same thing is true of Travis Hunter. All of these, like, football bros who, want it to be about toughness and this, that, and the other, and loving the game and studying the film and all of that. Travis Hunter is literally the most football guy ever.
I know.
And I'm going to tell a story right now, and I've heard this story a couple different times, so I'm not going to get into the weeds of the details of it. When Travis Hunter entered the transfer portal from Jackson State, he was offered a lot of money to go to places other than Colorado. And, from the start, we always kind of had a feeling he wants to go with Coach Prime. But you start hearing wild numbers. You start thinking twice about, should I go to Georgia? Should I go to Alabama? Should I go to Florida State? So, like I said, numbers that Colorado could have never in that moment paid were thrown at Travis Hunter. Travis Hunter went to Colorado and said, again, I'm not going to get into the numbers, I will take significantly less than that.
Yeah.
On one condition. I get to play both ways. None of this, like, we'll see,
pitch
we'll
count.
do, pitch count. No. I want to play. Exactly what was said about Coach Prime is true of Travis Hunter. Every person in America would kill to have that guy on their team. Yes. A guy who loves the game so much he refuses to be brought off the field and, in fact, was willing to forego a lot of money on the promise that, I got to play, man. I can't watch. It doesn't compute for me. I got to be on the field for every play of the game. And, again, the fact that people have twisted their brains into these pretzels to figure out a way to hate Travis Hunter is just sad to me. Because you clearly at least watch football. You've convinced yourself to not enjoy one of the coolest things we've ever seen in the sport.
Yeah.
And I feel so much pity for those people.
That's perfectly said, man. I mean, any, fan, like you said, would be thrilled to have Travis on their team. And Travis, he could go to any team in the country and he'd be the best player on the field.
Yep.
And he'd be the absolute star he is now anywhere else. Like, everyone would love to watch him still, but no one would let him play two ways like Coach Prime would.
Yep.
And that's what it all comes down to.
And it makes me think about something I asked Shador about after the Oklahoma State game in the regular season finale, just about, that risk that Shador has talked about that Travis took, not once but twice, because he could have went anywhere out of high school as the number one player in the class of 2022. When Coach Prime left Jackson State, like you mentioned, that boy Travis could have went literally anywhere with a bag. But he wanted to stay with fam. And, Shador, again, after that game, he says, when we first got here to Colorado, you wouldn't see too many high recruits come and do all of that because it's a risk. It's a high risk. Everything is easy whenever it's not as much of a risk and everything is going well. But whenever you have to start fresh and start new. That's when people who believe the most are going to get together and make it happen. Yep. And again, this was a match made in heaven. Those three in particular, Shedeur, Coach Prime, and Travis Hunter. And I would say the same thing. I'll probably get into it a little bit later, but I would say the same thing I said about Coach Prime and that impact on Travis Hunter. His career, college football career, would be much different. I would say the same about Shedeur. If Shedeur hasn't been throwing him dots these last 3 seasons, Travis would still be great, no doubt about it. But it's just a different level, another level of just special that we see with those two, that duo.
Yeah, definitely. Let's pick it up on the other side of this break. Shout out to the homies over at Game Time.
Game time.
Game time?
Game Time. Tickets for events, sporting events, and NHL, NBA are in full swing. College football, of course, you got the bowl games, NFL coming down to the playoffs. Go get your tickets at Game Time, wherever you may be in the country. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the promo code BUFFS, BUFFS. That'll get you $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code BUFFS, BUFFS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it?
Game time. Also, shout out to Sleeper. Y'all know what it is. It's the best fantasy app on the market. Anyone who actually knows ball, like if your commissioner isn't using Sleeper for fantasy, send him a little note. Just be like, hey, man, like let's kind of get with the times here. Mm-hmm. Like the era of ESPN fantasy football has long passed.
Yeah.
And now we're in the Sleeper era. And one of the coolest things about Sleeper is when you're on there for fantasy, you're one click away from also getting into Sleeper picks, which is a really, really fun way to see if you can combine, more passing yards than this, more rushing yards than this, so-and-so to get a touchdown and actually make money off of it. And right now, when you use the code BUFFS over at Sleeper, you can get a $100 match on your first deposit. Again, use the code BUFFS when you sign up for Sleeper Picks and get a $100 match on your first deposit. Of course, terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details, and it is currently operational over 25 states. I don't know if you guys know, that is half the states.
Wow.
So
really?
If you're listening to this, there is a 1 of 2 chance that your state
technically
allows. Yeah. What do you mean technically?
Well, I mean populations like divided. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
get out of here, bro. There is a 1 out of 2 chance that your state has Sleeper legalized. So check it out and see if you can get it and use that code BUFFS when you sign up.
So going back to the awards, Travis Hunter for the Chuck Bednarik Award as the best defensive player in the country beat out Caleb Downs, safety Ohio State, and Abdul Carter, defensive end Penn State. Both of those guys are
dogs.
Top 10 picks.
Yeah.
We didn't even get to this. He actually lost an award.
Mm-hmm.
The Maxwell.
Mm-hmm.
That's another one of the best player in college football awards. It was Ashton Genty, Travis Hunter, Dylan Gabriel. Ashton Genty ends up winning this award. And I swear, I was telling, I don't know if you were there, but I remember telling or asking Scotty, like, what's that award that they always kind of give it, or they used to always give it to the Heisman runner-up just so they can have something, Yep. That's this award. But 8 of the last 10 years, I think it is, the Heisman winner has won the Maxwell Award as well. But there's been guys like
10 out of the last 10 years, the AP National Player of the Year has won the Heisman.
Yes.
And several of the last 10 years, I didn't actually go through 10. The Walter Camp has won the Heisman.
But, like, there's been Heisman runs like Devonta Smith, who just completely owned college football. Joe Burrow, like the last 10 years. Kyler Murray was like a runaway guy, too. So, historically, though, at least what I remember when I was growing up, like, that reward was always given to the runner-up just to, like, I don't know, it was like a preview into what you're going to see tomorrow night, basically.
Totally.
Had to give him some.
Yes.
I mean, honestly, and he deserves it. Like, good for him.
He does.
Of course.
He had a great season, and we only have so much room in the Champion Center.
Yep. Travis ended up beating out 19 other players for the Walter Camp Award, though. They had 20 semifinalists. So. All right. Travis's press conference.
Take us in, Scotty.
Yeah, take us in there. What was it like?
Well, first off, what's up?
I want to just set the stage for people.
Yeah, that's where I was going to go.
Oh, okay.
First off, The 4 Heisman finalists are herded from this large room where you might have seen pictures out there with the Heisman Trophy, and they're presented with their Heisman watches. All of them get a Heisman watch, all right? So after that, they're kind of media is paraded into an adjacent, much smaller room where the Heisman finalists will did follow us, and it was kind of just pretty much an open media Q&A session. All the 4 Heisman finalists in one room, 4 different media scrums for those 4 Heisman finalists, and it's easy to bet y'all can tell that Travis Hunter obviously had the biggest crowd by far in that room of that 4 Heisman finalists. What's up? What do you want to say?
I'm going even further back to set this stage.
Go ahead.
There's only 2 people from this crew who were in there. 4 Heisman finalists, 2 DNVR
yes.
employees.
Yeah, we didn't bring the whole crew to Travis's
But we would have.
Of course.
But we were told, because we are quote unquote internet, I think was the term, internet media.
That's what they said.
So, yes.
We only get 2.
As per their regulations.
As per my last email.
Yes. So only 2 of us got to go in there. I'm always fine with this. We make jokes about it, but I always say no one is more well suited to be able to create without a credential than we are.
Right.
So we got our guys in there. We got RG with the camera, Scotty on the questions, and we went and made some other stuff. And tomorrow night, same thing is true. Only 2 of us get to go to attend the ceremony. Mm-hmm. And we may or may have not figured out something really, really cool to do.
Stay tuned.
So tonight we're at New York Vintners. Mm-hmm. Tomorrow we're somewhere else. You guys will just have to tune in and see.
Tap in with us.
So yeah, anyways, Scotty and RG were the only DNVR people at this press conference today.
Yeah, it wasn't the easiest to hear Travis in that room of about 120 people all talking at the same time. But luckily, RG was on the cam, so go check out Travis's full pre-Heisman interview Q&A session on DNVR YouTube. But yeah, just talking about Travis,
Wait, real quick. Who had the second biggest crowd after Travis?
Genty, for sure.
Yeah, Gabriel definitely had the smallest.
Well,
just like his stats.
Yeah.
and his stature.
Yeah. I was actually
going to be nice.
A bit surprised by his stature, honestly. But Ashton Genty, that's a big fella right there.
Fire hydrant.
Yeah, I would not want to try to tackle that man. But, Travis, it's hilarious. He mentioned that he didn't get a chance to get in his daily 1 p.m. nap today. Because
me too, bro.
Obviously, he's been up and at him. Same with Jake. But Jake got in a Red Bull. I don't know
Did you get a nap on the plane, Jakey?
No.
Nah.
Your boy is just going straight through this thing,
Scotty
man.
says we're not sleeping the entire time that he's here.
Nope.
So.
We can sleep on the plane back Sunday. But honestly, the coolest thing that to me from Travis was just talking about Shedeur and kind of their relationship, their brotherhood, as Travis would put it. Travis said today that, Shedeur, he always says he's like a brother to me. Everybody else is just not getting to see that he actually loves me a lot. He's like a brother to me, man. I can't say anything more about him. I love the guy. He's like my backbone. And again, this is a relationship that goes back years. We just talked about it. Travis didn't have to go to Jackson State. He didn't have to follow Coach Prime and Shedeur to Colorado, but that's who he wanted to be around. And Shedeur understands that you need the right people around you in your corner to reach the goals that you want to reach, especially when there is, high as, Travis Hunter sets his. So that was just a cool thing. And again, I don't know if Travis Hunter is the runaway Heisman favorite if Shedeur Sanders isn't his quarterback. And again, that goes both ways. I don't know if Shedeur Sanders is the
Top 5 lock.
What's the name of the award that he won? I can't think of
Johnny
Johnny
Unitas
Unitas Award. Thank you. I don't know if Shedeur Sanders is Johnny Unitas Golden Arm if Travis Hunter isn't catching passes from him and whatnot.
It's a team game.
100%. And those two, that duo, the synergy that they have, that they've built over the last few years is really one of one. And that was cool. Obviously, Travis was asked about why he's going to play in the bowl game, when he really has nothing to gain from it. And again, it went back to the fact that I'm going to continue to be loyal to my guys, to Coach Prime and Shedeur, and ride out with my guys. We get one last opportunity to be out there on the field together, and I'm going to make sure I'm going to go out there and dominate is what, Travis, how Travis put it. there was one other thing. Oh, the other thing. He was asked about his little brother, right? Travis.
Yeah.
And it seemed that Travis was strategically playing it this way by purposely not trying to play up his brother too much. And that's what he talked about today. He was like, I think he's going to be good, but I don't want to say too much because I don't want to put too much on him. I want him to go out there and earn everything he gets the same way I did. And because, especially with Travis, if he puts his stamp on somebody, even if it's his brother, people are going to run with that and be like, oh, this guy has to be the next Travis Hunter. And that's an incredible amount of pressure to put on a young man. And I just think that's so smart. It's just such a good big brother of Travis to not put any, unintentional pressure on his little bro because he's going to be just fine. Look, Travis is going to be nice. Yep. You don't need, Travis to, hype him up to the media or, again, have people put unnecessary, limitations or whatever on him. So I just thought, those kind of three things kind of stood out to me for sure.
Travis is so wise beyond his years. It's crazy.
Yep. And again, it's like Where a little Coach Prime. It's like a little Coach Prime up there. It's crazy.
Yep.
And I mean, people will want to talk about, well, first of all, going back to what you said about how he earned everything that he got, I had to laugh because someone responded to me last night about one of the awards that he won. Couldn't even remember which one it is because he won so many. But they said, like, he only won it because of his name. Jesus. And I'm like, who made that name?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because with all due respect to Travis Hunter Sr., he's not the reason why Travis Hunter won these awards last night.
Yeah.
So if you're saying Travis Hunter only won those awards on his name, well, guess what? He's the reason why his name is a thing.
Yep.
He's the reason why his name means something.
Facts.
But just to go to what you were saying about his maturity and all of the things that he's accomplished, he's going to be an unbelievable recruiting resource for the University of Colorado. And for Coach Prime, most importantly.
Which he also said Coach ain't going anywhere, too.
Of course.
Yep.
And again, it's like he believes in, the direction. So he's going to pitch it.
Yeah.
And first of all, he is going to check off a box, which a lot of guys think about when they're choosing their school. Can I win a Heisman Trophy when I go there? And yes, Rashawn Salam won the 1994 Heisman Trophy, but none of these guys were alive for that. So now these guys are going to be say, I can go there and I can win a Heisman Trophy. And guess what? All of the people who are saying he's only winning the Heisman Trophy because of Coach Prime, which is wrong, by the way, but you're actually pushing the narrative. You're helping Colorado.
Yeah.
Because guys are going to say, hell yeah, man, I would love to go play for Coach Prime and have him help me win a Heisman Trophy.
Yeah.
So that's a great point. Yeah, I mean, great stuff from Travis today. We obviously don't get to hear him too much on the podium. He's doing his own stuff, podcasts and all that, but crushed it, in my opinion.
He did.
And also, too, I feel like Travis, at least when I first got here, it felt like, and this is probably still true, that he doesn't, I don't think, love talking to the media, especially in settings like this.
Yeah,
but
of course.
It seems like, at least from, again, maybe the first time I heard him talk publicly to today, it seems like he's obviously gotten just so much better and just so much more uncomfortable in front of the mic, in front of the camera. And obviously that comes with reps. But I just feel like that's another thing that, like with everything with him, it just gets better over time. Yeah. And that's just so cool to see as well.
It's part of growing up, too. I mean, we forget this guy's only like 21 years old, too.
Yes.
I know.
Not 25-year-old Nick Nash.
Great pull. Great pull. Anything else in the press conference today?
I don't think so, man. It was my first thought going up there, too. I'm like, what question hasn't Travis Hunter heard at this point? You know what I'm saying? Going through the Heisman stuff.
Did you think to ask him what he likes better, wide receiver or corner?
No, I thought about asking him, if it was you against Deion Sanders, who would win that 101? Like, how many times do you think he's heard that?
Yeah. And
including
he's
this
gonna
week.
Pick himself every time.
Right.
As he should.
But, yeah, go check that out on YouTube. RG did his thing, per usual.
Someone asked me the other day, though. They said, has Travis been asked who would win one-on-one, him versus him?
He was asked that today.
He was. Okay,
yeah.
what'd he say?
He actually said, I don't know. You go ask him. And the reporter was like, I'm asking him. And then that was it. He just moved on from it. That's why I'm like, yeah, I know Travis has heard these questions
Exactly,
1,000
bro.
times. He's just over it.
For what it's worth, I got wide receiver Travis over corner Travis in a one-on-one battle.
Really interesting.
I think the slight advantage of knowing the route would give wide receiver Travis enough separation to make
That's
the
true.
play.
That's true.
Got Travis on ESPN right now.
Let's talk about the portal.
Portland.
Big visit weekend for the team. On top of a Heisman ceremony, just normal program stuff.
Okay,
Dogs are coming, boys.
let's go.
All dogs in Colorado.
This is
Yes.
This is not a false alarm. This is real. Kevin Concepcion, not this weekend. Or actually, it is this weekend. I think it's on Monday. So after this weekend, he will be in Boulder, Colorado.
Let's go. Immaculate Concepcion.
The former NC State wide receiver, just been an absolute beast since he was a true freshman last year.
Mm-hmm.
Had a down year this last season, but the guy can play.
It's my number one receiver in the portal right now.
There's so many good receivers available.
Yes.
There are.
And there will be a few headed to Boulder.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's go. Best name in the portal.
Former Louisiana Tech kicker / punter Buck Buchanan
Buck.
is visiting Colorado this weekend. This guy went 29-31 on his field goals this last year. I'm sorry, that was extra points. 29-31 extra points, 13-20 actually on field goals. But he's got a boot.
Yes.
And that is, Coach Prime said he was going to get one.
I think I saw somewhere he had 51 touchbacks. And I was thinking to myself, like, have I ever seen 51 touchbacks collectively at Colorado? I know we didn't get that many this year. What do you think we had in touchbacks this year?
Single digits for sure.
Yeah, but like 8 or 9.
I was going to say like 6.
I think it might be double digits, but the fact that you guys even answer that is so bad.
No, bro. I mean, it took until Gerlach was in, a kickoff specialist until we were getting touchbacks.
But I think he was only at like 20%.
Yeah, I was going to say there were definitely a few games where there were 0.
Yes.
So,
but he had he would have like 2 a game.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's true.
51 touchbacks is really good.
For sure. Do you remember talking about Xavier Atkins, RK?
Sort of, yes. First Coach Prime recruiting class, right?
24. This is actually last year. But we talked about this kid a lot. Xavier Atkins, he ended up committing to LSU. He's a linebacker out of Texas, 6 foot, 200 pounds. He's in the portal. And he is coming this weekend.
Let's go.
Excuse me.
One drink over there, this guy's falling apart.
He played in 7 games this year, 3 tackles. Alabama running back Justice Haynes has entered the portal, and I think this is the guy we've been waiting on, Scotty. We went through yesterday and did like our my guys in the portal.
Mm-hmm. Did you mention my guys?
Who are your guys?
So when you guys said you were going to do this, I was like,
I remember you mentioning one guy.
Well, yes, but he's not in the portal.
Yes. My guy in the portal is Zachariah Branch. Only problem is he's not in the portal. Then I had a backup my guy.
I don't remember. It looks
who
like
was
you don't
actually
either.
in the portal.
Was it KC?
No. It'll come to me.
Anyways, Justice Haynes, this last year, played in all 12 games for the Alabama Crimson Tide, 79 attempts, 448 rushing yards, 7 touchdowns. That's 5.7 yards per carry. Also caught 17 balls out of the backfield. And that's something specifically we talked about yesterday. I mean, if you're going to go get a guy out of the portal at running back, you need someone who can be a threat catching the football and, making plays in the passing game.
Just something different, a different skill set than what Michael Welch and Isaiah Gustav, I think, both have. I think that's why Eli Sanders, the New Mexico running back, who I, talked about yesterday as my guy, a real speedster who obviously has the punch to, run in between the tackles and get the tough yards. But if you give him space, he's gone. And I feel like this guy from Alabama, this transfer you're talking about here, also has that ability.
Another Justice. And you know way more about this guy than I do. This is actually before I started.
Yeah, RC is actually the internal Justice Finley expert.
Finkley. Justice Finkley has entered the portal.
My dog.
Heavily linked to Colorado back in the day. This was a top 100 or near top 100 recruit in the 2022 recruiting class. He committed to Texas. RC told me it was between Bama, Texas, and CU. He grew up a CU fan, though. Had, like, pictures on Twitter of him as a kid, like, rocking Buffs gear. Nailed it. He's in the portal.
All right, let's go.
Do you remember anything from that saga at
I
all?
just remember us being like, we might actually be able to get a really legit recruit here. And then we didn't.
A 4-star.
Yes.
And now every year you have at least one 5-star.
Now CU fans are like thumbing their nose at like high 3 stars.
Right.
Come on. I think we can do a little better than this.
Yes.
Back then it was like, I remember we got a kid named Bo Bisharat, with all due respect. And it was like a big deal. And I think he was like a 4-star on some sites, a high 3-star on others.
Cool name.
White running back. And yeah, that was back then. That was like, sound the alarms, stop the presses. We got a big recruit.
Emergency pod.
Emergency pod. I was actually it's funny that you mentioned emergency pod. I was actually at the Super Bowl media party in Atlanta.
Wow.
When he committed, and they were like, emergency pod. I was like, no.
No, back then times were hard, though.
Yes, they were, but I was like, they have an open bar at this Super Bowl media party, and it's at like a children's museum, like with all like the fun little things you can, like what's the word, like the kinetic
Wasn't it an
puzzles
aquarium?
and stuff.
I thought it was.
Well, it was an aquarium / actually no, you're right. The aquarium
in Atlanta.
Was in Atlanta. This was actually this was the Santa Clara. This was the Broncos Super Bowl media party that I was at, and that one was at like a science museum. When I wasn't breaking away from that.
The comments are really laughing that would have been an emergency pod.
They don't even get the joke, which is the funny thing.
That's true. But I bet Will remembers Bo Bisharat.
Oh yeah.
From Stanford.
Yes.
It was a big deal.
All right.
Okay, let's move on.
Let's take our next break, and then we'll get our friend Will on the show. Shout out to the homies over at Elevations Credit Union. With the sexiest credit card in the game, right? That's what they call it?
No, the sexiest credit card in world history.
All right.
Not just the game, bro.
Yes,
what if the game is world history, though?
The game is not world history.
But what if that's the way I was going with it? You never knew.
I never knew.
But shout out to them. You can get the gold on black and black on gold.
You can.
Versions.
I like the gold on black.
Yes. Of the Go Buffs Visa Signature Rewards card only at Elevations Credit Union. You get up to 3% cash back on CU tickets, merch, and select CU merchandise, 2% cash back on restaurants, gas, streaming, and phone plans, 1% cash back on daily spending. But you also contribute directly to the CU NIL fund with every single swipe. Elevations donates 2 cents per swipe to the CU student athletes through NIL. So support CU student athletes and get a Go Buffs Visa Rewards card with our friends at Elevations Credit Union. Visit buffscreditcard.com to apply and see full card benefits and details.
Also, shout out to Breckenridge Brewery. Of course, tomorrow could be a celebratory night, and you're going to need some celebratory libations. Mm-hmm. And that might just be Breck Brew. Mm-hmm. That might just be Breck Brew for you. So if you need some Breck Brews, if you need some celebratory libations, go to breckbrew.com, use the beer locator, find out where the nearest beers are to you. You want the Vanilla Porter, that's very famous. The Avalanche Amber Ale, very famous. Or if you want the Jake Special, the Mountain Beach, go check out where you can get Breck Brews by going to breckbrew.com and use the beer locator. Shout out Breck Brew, whether you're celebrating or just want a nice, hearty, full-bodied beer. Hit up our friends at Breck Brew.
The goats.
Boy said full-bodied.
Full-bodied, yes.
I like that. Never heard that before, but I like that.
It's like it has a lot to it.
Okay.
We're sitting in a place where fine wine is consumed.
Yes.
Full-bodied is an acceptable term around here. Right, Will?
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's bring Will on.
Will.
All right, Scotty will be back here shortly.
He's got a fresh drink. It's a keep him busy over there.
He's got a article to write. I mean, the man just all he does is work. It's crazy.
Bro, this guy was about to pull out his laptop on the subway.
It's insane.
to get to it's
just a fucking machine.
Absolutely.
Also, shout out to Scotty with the F1 jacket. Did you notice that?
No, I don't think even he did.
No, yes, he did.
Biggest F1 fan in the game. By the way, this is scoreboard 3 bourbon Negronis.
Yep.
2 baby slices of pizza for me all day. So,
thoughts and prayers.
We're on a good track here.
Welcome to New York.
Yeah, exactly.
Will, what's up?
Let me introduce Will here. I gave him a little introduction earlier, but Will hired me into this business long ago, and he actually had no business hiring me into this business, but he did anyway. Changed my life. He then, at the exact same place that he hired me into this business, hired Allie into this business, and didn't know it then, but changed my life once again. And also, when I first started working for him, he then moved to another place, which was buffstampede.com with Adam Munster-Tiger. And he put in the good word for me there, was like, we got to bring RK over. And back then, they had a thing called Buff Stampede Radio, which, like, when they reached out to me about coming over, that's what I wanted to do the most. I was like, if I can be on Buff Stampede Radio, I'm down to be on, because I wanted to do this. I wanted to be able to just like shoot the shit about the Buffs with my friends. I did it many times with Will, and so it's pretty cool full circle moment to now be at your spot here in NYC talking Buffs with you.
Man, I mean, you go down memory lane about a lot of things, and you got to question things, you got to celebrate things, and by far, one of the great decisions I ever made was hiring you. And
don't do this. Don't gas me up. I don't need it.
No, we're not gonna go too deep on that. But I mean, let's just call it what it is. Is that BSN, which turned into DNVR, ALLCITY, all these incredible things that you guys are doing. I mean, it's a reflection of obviously what Brandon has done, but really, Ryan, I mean, it's you. So we're really happy to have you guys here at New York Vintners. We've gotten you guys a little turned up.
Yeah, no.
Tiny bit.
Yeah. People are going to start noticing here soon.
That's all right. That's all right.
The chat is already saying Scott and Jake are a little turned.
Well, they're lightweights compared to me.
One drink.
Scott was also getting the double repo margaritas.
Ooh, sabotage.
Yeah, my guy. Yeah.
And everyone feels like Jake's gone to New York with the Manhattan.
Is that what you're drinking?
Yeah, because I
so.
thought he said anything with bourbon. It wasn't you, but you drank it.
Of course.
I respect that.
It was delicious, by the way.
I mean,
Crushed
win in Manhattan, right?
Exactly.
I knew it was coming.
How do you deal with all those puns, bro?
So it's funny because back in the day, when it first started happening, right, like you think it's kind of his shtick. And you're like, all right, this is really funny. This is really cool. Right. And then it gets to a point you're like, bro, you are trying. So, like, come on. Like,
imagine Allie's
life.
this
doesn't need to be a pun. Like, we can just do this straight up.
He's not even a dad yet, and when he is, it's going to be absolutely.
I'm not even the worst one of the people in this room.
I know, which is crazy.
Ryan Green, spend a day with him. If you think I'm bad, you'll want to strangle him.
Honestly, there was a DNVR Buffs podcast 8 years ago where Ryan spent pretty much an entire segment just doing puns.
Oh, yeah.
And it's literally like me in the background being like, help me, please. I can't do this. I'm going to kill them. And it was like 35 minutes of just straight puns.
Also, we probably should have mentioned this, but the actual Allie is producing your show today.
I've been talking to the chat.
Not Alyssa.
I've been talking to chat.
There is a
I'm
difference.
not going to lie. I was kind of looking forward to meeting Alyssa. I mean,
She's
Allie,
the
it's
goat.
so good to see you.
I love Alyssa.
Like, it's amazing. It's just,
I know.
face on the bus.
Yeah.
Right?
I know.
She is the GOAT.
Anyways, Will, I wanted to have you on just to give another perspective to the people of like what it's been like for a longtime Buffs fan to experience this team, the Coach Prime era, and then, of course, more specifically on this weekend, Travis Hunter.
I mean, obviously, it's been incredible, right? And I think one of the things that I've experienced being like a remote Buffs fan, especially being here in New York with the media coverage, and, there are so many people that come to New York from every walk of life, every place in the country, and I wear this fire CU Buffs hoodie around town. That was a gift from Ryan and Allie. And I get stopped on the street all the time. Like by people that, obviously I get some SCO buffs, especially down here in Financial District. But in Brooklyn, in Queens, all over town, I will get stopped and people are like, all right, are you a Buffs fan or are you a Dion fan? Are you a Prime fan? Mm-hmm. And so I think just the exposure of Colorado, and you guys have talked about this a lot, the exposure of Colorado, the exposure of Boulder, the exposure of the university, all the incredible things that surround the brand of CU, getting more exposure has been incredible. But man, just from a football perspective, first of all, I think the coolest thing initially was that Ryan got invited on with one of my favorite podcasters, which is Titus. Titus and Tate was my go-to college basketball show forever. And the fact that he let you cook for 20 minutes
he did on the
history of the Buffs football, I was like, all right, we're living in a completely different thing. And the news broke about Prime coming to Boulder on my birthday. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I said it back, we did a special free balling podcast with.
If you know, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Back in the day. And, it was always like, all right, this is gravy, right? It can't get worse. Mm-hmm. It can't get worse. And so the excitement, it inspired my wife and I to buy season tickets, living in New York and committing to get out to Boulder. The support and the kind of injection of energy and just money into the community for these local businesses, amazing. But again, it comes back to the football because all the stuff, all the incredible things, if you don't at least provide an attractive product on the field, then all this other stuff is for naught. And they obviously have. I mean, 4-8 could have easily been 7-5, could have easily been 6-6. And look, this is me saying this, a guy that Ryan had to almost cut out of his life due to negativity regarding Colorado football. I would find the downside in everything with Buffs. And to just be filled with excitement constantly has been incredible to see. And, I mean, look, Shedeur is generational. The quality of the young men that have been brought in to represent the university is incredible. But I think a lot of this comes back to Travis. And I sent a tweet out when I went out for the North Dakota State game, and I remember tweeting out either halftime or sometime towards the end of the game. I knew that was going to be the only home game I made. And I said, this is probably the last time I will ever see Travis Hunter play in person. I don't go to NFL games. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I'm a sucker. And to see him put on a show and to see that stuff live, I mean, there's nothing like it. For everybody on Twitter, the haters, the people who actually don't watch football, who don't enjoy sports, they actually just want to bitch and moan on Twitter.
Yep. A lot of them.
Watching Travis Hunter play football inspires joy in people.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Watching that dude smile, watching him, the fun that he has, it's so inspiring. And so I feel super lucky that I got to see what I think is the greatest college football player ever wear a Colorado uniform and love playing in Folsom Field and love representing the Boulder community and the state that I love.
I love that, man.
Phew. He deserves a standing ovation for that.
Will let go of hell.
Yes.
Yes, congrats, bro. Well done.
Let's go.
I mean, let go of hell.
It's such an incredible mantra that even this year that shit was tested. It was tested.
Definitely tested.
And so it's been incredible.
And you mentioned just you talked about this so much, but Travis Hunter being the best player in your eyes to play college football, and that just brings me back to something I've been talking about recently, which is people are only Colorado fans would care this much about winning the Heisman. First of all, not true. But second of all, it's yes, we care about this a lot because this will be a monument, literally and figuratively, to Colorado football for the rest of our lives. Mm-hmm. We're always going to remember this season. But after tomorrow night, barring something drastic happening, we will always remember it as the Travis Heisman season.
Yeah.
And that means something. That's special. When Jake and I walk in to do the first pregame show of the year next year at the stadium, we get to look over and look at Travis's Heisman. 10 years from now, when you walk into the Champion Center and you get to walk on, that's Travis's Heisman. When you're talking about Colorado football on the whole, 50 years from now, you're going to talk about the Travis Heisman season, not Coach Prime year 2.
Right.
It means something. It makes a big difference. And so, yes, this season, that player deserves to literally be gold-plated.
Mm-hmm. It's about legacy. It's
Yes.
about something that outlives a player's career. It's something that outlives one generation of fans. Because you think about us, growing up as Colorado fans, like we had some good seasons. We won a Big 12 championship. We appeared in a Pac-12 championship. And hanging banners is what it's all about in many ways. But, when we tell people about Colorado football, we got to point them towards like a 30 for 30 documentary. And
Which isn't all great.
Right. There's some stuff in the stuff, and I think winning a Heisman is something that we can not just always remember, but it's something for the program to hang kind of a benchmark of like, of course, it's not the first, it won't be the first one in University of Colorado history, but it is something for a new generation of people coming to Boulder to play football, to chase their dreams. It's a new standard, and that's something that outlives everybody.
Well, and, we were talking the other day about the best brands in the NFL. There's a big debate around the office.
Oh, yeah.
But one of the things that was talked about with the Patriots was, well, outside of the Brady era, they have nothing. They were bad before it, they're bad after it. And there might be a Patriots fan in here who says, like, that's not true, this, that, the other. 67 was crazy. There are things like that. In Colorado football, aside from a Big 12 championship in 2001, there's not a lot to, like, connect the thread to from the early 90s. It's like they were amazing in the early 90s. They won a national championship. They got a Heisman winner. Then in 2001, they won a Big 12 championship and wasteland. To now be able to, hopefully, put a Heisman Trophy in 2024 on that, now it's like this is a program.
Yes.
Not a stretch, not a spurt, not a flash in the pan, but a program. A program that has a national championship, a Heisman Trophy in 1994, and another Heisman Trophy in 2024.
When you think of Travis, and I guess this season, other than the game you were at, what's the play that comes to mind to you?
So I was thinking about this earlier today. I didn't know you were going to ask, but I like watching highlights on YouTube of, one thing or another. And I've been going through a lot of Travis stuff recently just because I've been trying to think of stuff that I'm going to remember. And, bro, the first step that he took on the screen touchdown against Texas Tech, like, I don't know how many people have actually, like, watched that back to actually think about that first step. Bro, it is the most explosive I've ever seen a human being. All right? Like, think about, we talk about first step so much in basketball. Like, think about the point guard that has the best first step that you know. That's Travis Hunter. Think about the best defender of your generation. Obviously, Draymond Green.
There you go. That's a Warriors fan.
That's Travis Hunter.
When you said defender with the best first step, I thought Von Miller.
Yes.
Different sport.
Yes.
But it's like, I think that play obviously sticks out so much because of the explosion. And then, just the aesthetic beauty of the hop into the end zone.
Oh,
Have you ever seen Ryan Green's slow motion of the entire play? Because that will feed families for decades.
Yeah.
I think that's probably overall my favorite play just from the aesthetic point of view. The screen touchdown against Kansas
yeah.
where, bro, when you basically walk in the end zone and everybody's still 25 yards behind you, I obviously have never known a feeling like that. But, like, I have to imagine that's incredible. But
that one was crazy, too, because it's like he catches the ball, makes a little move, and then he's just gone.
He's like in the fray and then he's out of the
It's
fray.
just like there's no one near him. He's like looking at the crowd as he just jogs into the end zone.
It's also crazy, too, because he hadn't touched the ball then at that point, and he's like talking to Pat Shermer on the sideline, like, give me the
just give
ball.
me
This
the
is what we're
fucking
going to
rock.
run. And then he just goes and houses it immediately, man.
I don't know if anybody's done the stats on this, but it felt like every other time he touched the ball, he was either scoring or got tripped up or maybe the ball was a hair overthrown or something happened that, like, prevented him from scoring. But the only other player I've ever thought about that, oh, man, they could score every time they touch the ball is Laviska Shenault.
Yeah.
Like, truly, it felt like, oh, man, if he gets even one step, he's gone. And you think about how good Laviska Shenault was. You think about how good Paul Richardson was. And how Travis clears them. And that's not shade to them. Like, you're talking about a generational player. It's wild.
Yeah.
All right, before we let you go and get Scotty back on here, just like plug how people can come hang out here.
Yeah.
You can't. No, I'm kidding. No, I mean, so they talked about New York Vintners. I like to say this is a university of wine, university of adult beverage. Because
Wine you.
yeah, exactly. If you want to come here to study and you want to learn about the great wines of the world, you can do it, and you can do it in flip flops. You can do it in tie dye T-shirts. You can do it in 3-piece suits. If you want to come here to party, we can do that too. So obviously, a big thing for us is corporate parties, general private events, and then we've got a wine bar open to the public Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And if you come in, even if you don't have a reservation, if you come in here in a Buffs hoodie,
Will's gotcha.
I got you. We'll make it happen.
Last thing I'll say here is that that Buffs hoodie that Will said that he likes to wear around NYC that he gets complimented on, that was a gift from us. That was our gift for him because he is officiating our wedding.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
Yeah. Means the world.
He can talk, as you guys just said.
Well, and before I get out of here, you guys let me plug my stuff. So I'll just say, obviously the fan base has grown so much since Prime came on board, all around the country, probably around the world. And as somebody who was not always a podcast listener, the DNVR Buffs podcast is like religion. It's how I get through the subway every morning. And I'm sure I speak for everybody in the chat, everybody who will listen to this. Like, you guys are real, and what you do is real. And it's not just fun for you, and of course it is. It's not just business for you, and of course it is. But this is a real way to connect people around the world. Mm-hmm. And I don't want that to ever get lost on you guys in the grind. So thank you for being here. Travis for Heisman, Sco Buffs. I can't believe I just said Sco.
I know.
Like, that's not a thing for me. I just said Sco. And thank you guys for coming through.
Thank you, bro.
Real quick.
You're the
We
man,
have Debbie C in the chat said, Will, happy belated birthday. I can't wait to visit your bar when I'm in New York in February. By the way, I want one of each of the squad's drinks. So I just wanted a special
Debbie,
shout out for
I
your
got you.
belated birthday.
I got you.
Belated birthday, yes.
Let's go.
Yes.
I appreciate y'all.
Shout out
Yeah,
Will.
you said 2 years on the day that Coach was hired. That was your birthday.
Yeah, it was wild. I throw a yearly grilled cheese party.
Yeah.
Right around my birthday. This was year 14, and it was at grilled cheese night. And we had some Buffs fans in the building, and we participated in activities to turn up. Just say that. So, yeah.
I was at the first ever grilled cheese night. Just want to say.
Ryan's an OG of the cheese night, I will say. Well, thank you guys for being here. Thanks
You're
for
the
having
man,
me
bro.
on.
Yes.
Let's get
Thank you,
the real man back in here, man.
Thank you, man.
Appreciate you, man. What a great host he has been. It's what he does the best. And like I said, he can talk ball for sure.
Definitely, man. Shout out, Will.
Hopefully we can get him on to talk some basketball
Absolutely.
at some point, because that is what his true passion was. A true hooper himself, actually.
All right, let's get to our final break, and then we'll get to questions. Shout out to the homies at Circle K. Mm-hmm. It's crazy. I mean, when was the last Great American Stampede trip? Like 3 weeks ago?
I don't know, man.
Feels like a lifetime ago. It's
Too long
crazy.
ago.
I miss it, but shout out to Circle K for literally fueling us on and off the road on the Great American Stampede and just on our way to New York and, just day-to-day driving around Denver. Circle K is the go-to. Sign up for the Inner Circle program. Scan that QR code on your screen. All you need is your phone number and email. Your first 5 fill-ups are 25 cents off a gallon. You get every 5th item free on rollers, Polar Pops, all kinds of stuff. New offers, purchase clubs, and sweepstakes are uploaded weekly. Download the Circle K app and sign up for the Inner Circle today.
Also, shout out to Raising Cane's.
The homies.
You guys don't realize this, it's not often that we can go to a brand and say, hey, Travis Hunter's a Heisman finalist. Mm-hmm. We're going out there. We'd love for you guys to be a part of it. Can you, are you in?
Yeah.
And they say yes. These things, for anyone who works in, advertisement sales or anything like that, usually take weeks, months. Heck, sometimes relationships take a year before they materialize into anything. And I have so much love and respect for Raising Cane's for believing in us to be like, oh, you guys are going out there to cover the Heisman ceremony? We want our name on that. We want in on that. So huge respect to Raising Cane's for believing in what we're doing out here, and they don't even know how big it's about to be because tomorrow's going to be incredible.
They really don't.
But they didn't need to because they believe in us. So, to some they might just be chicken tenders, and they do those chicken fingers as well as anyone. But to us, they actually believe.
They do.
We respect that and appreciate that.
So shout out Raising Cane's for cooked-to-order hand-battered chicken fingers. Race into Raising Cane's, turbocharge your chicken fingers, and get them even faster by ordering online at raisingcanes.com or through their mobile app. Raising Cane's chicken fingers, one love.
One love. And as Jacob Polite just said, Cane's is my new favorite sponsor.
Jacob say he linked it with us in San Antonio.
Let's go.
Oh, I'm sure. That's his neck of the woods.
Oh, yeah.
Jacob's, I think, he at least told me, I don't know if it came through yet, but he's sending me a video for the project that RG and I have been working on for the last few days. So,
we need those food wrecks out there in San Antonio, Jacob, so you better come ready, brother.
That's a long ways from Lubbock.
Texas is just massive. It doesn't compute to me.
Jay got it. He got us.
All right.
All right, Ellie.
Questions.
Is it time?
It's your time to shine.
All right.
Before we get into the questions, people in the chat talking about my Heisman post today.
Let's get into it.
We gotta talk about
Let's get into it, Scotty. Come on, what happened?
Hey, man, I was what?
I'm not mad at you, man.
You can't be. Why would you?
I'm mad at them for trying to make you join that picture, bro. That ain't you.
You know, my mom told me when I was young not to give in to peer pressure. That's what I did there.
You failed her,
I failed.
bro.
I failed her. And that's the result we get.
Oh, no.
That's the result we get.
You knew as you were standing up there, I shouldn't be here right now, bro.
I don't belong up
This isn't
here.
gonna be right. This isn't gonna look right.
So I saw that picture. I didn't even see Scotty yet. I just saw the picture and I saw it was a bunch of y'all lined up there doing the pose. I started right to left. First off, Nikki, we got to work on the Heisman.
Yeah,
She
had hand on hip, like.
I want the zesty Heisman, bro. Who wins the zesty Heisman with the hand on the hip? They call that the Nikki Edwards Award.
Nikki, we got to work on that. Anyways, I started off scanning right to left. So the last person I saw was you, Scott. And that shit sent me, bro. Absolutely sent me.
I'm dead, bro.
You can see the regret in his eyes, bro.
Because again, one of the media members asked us like, we should all go get a Colorado media picture. I'm like, you know what? They're like looking at me. I'm like, all right, I'll go up there. That's cool. This could be a cool picture. So we go up there and take a regular photo, and I'm making my way off the stage. And they're like, wait, let's do a Heisman one. Yeah, okay. All right, let's do it. And that was the result. Yeah, but that photo right there is going to live on forever, man.
Yeah, that photo right there is why I was okay when they said they could only credential 2 of them.
Wait, hold on. Did you not post the photo of our Heisman pose?
Not yet.
Oh, you're saving it.
Jake and I did do a Heisman posed photo.
Oh, okay, no worries. The guy's working.
Yeah, just grinding.
Let him
always.
crush. All right, Ellie.
All right. We got Lawrence here. CU isn't going to wait till someone has passed, but I feel like Travis Hunter's number should be retired. Salute to him for a fantastic season, and shout out to his teammates.
So there are 2 different areas of Folsom Field where names are listed. There is the press box side, where you have all consensus All-Americans. And then there's the other side, which is like essentially retired numbers, even though the numbers aren't actually
Colorado
retired.
football gods.
Yeah, exactly. Travis needs to go on that side.
Yeah, absolutely.
He can be on both
100%.
sides.
Sure.
But there needs to be a Travis Hunter, like you know it's there. You see it immediately.
Put the number 12 on the concrete thing.
Yeah.
Something.
And honestly, like, maybe this isn't for right now because we're still in the midst of it. But, like, a Travis Hunter statue.
Sorry, hold on.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't think did you forget that you were your mic was live when
No,
you were saying no?
I was trying to write to the chat that I was going to get the Heisman picture, and then the countdown started playing by accident. So that's why I was like, oh hold on.
Also, by the way, maybe it's just a Travis Travis doing the Heisman pose. Put that as a statue outside the stadium.
He hits the Heisman harder than anyone's ever hit it.
Well, and
It's got a little on it.
The Kansas one was like,
Yeah.
he had a little extra info now.
He did. He like hit something.
Yeah.
No one loves Ralphie more than me, but we have like 47 Ralphie statues. We have 0 of anything else.
Right.
Like, let's get a Coach Mack statue
Yep.
of him being carried off the field after they won the national championship.
Yeah.
And hell, give me the Travis Hunter hitting the Heisman statue.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's got to happen.
All right, next super chat. We got the awards from Paris. The awards scare me. They're not going to give it 12 the Heisman.
Let go of hell.
Let go of hell.
Couldn't have said it better
Yeah.
myself. Let me just set the stage here. The lowest odds, meaning the least confident in Travis Hunter to win the Heisman, is currently at our friends at Bet365.
The homies.
Minus 2,000. I haven't done the exact calculations, but I did it for what minus 2,500 means. Minus 2,500 was implied odds of 96.3%, I believe. No, 96.2%. Minus 2,000, if I had to just rattle it off, I'm guessing is around 93. So even the sports book who has the least conviction on this is saying Travis Hunter is 93%. Then you go to some of the other ones, minus 2,500, minus 8,000, minus 9,000, and minus 33.35. Vegas isn't always right. But a lot of times they're trying to predict the outcome of a sporting event. Sporting events, the reason why we love them so much is because they are inherently unpredictable. This is not a competition tomorrow. It is just an announcement. I would be blown away if these sportsbook, and forget the minus side of this, Ashton Genty, plus 750. That means bet 100, win 750. Plus 1,000, plus 800, plus 2,000, plus 1,400, plus 600. I would be shocked if these sportsbooks were willing to give themselves that much exposure on that side of the bet.
Yep.
If they didn't believe that this thing was a done deal.
So an ESPN article came out
That's what I was
yesterday.
going to bring up. I saw that too.
Written by Doug Greenberg. The headline is, quote, "We're not in good shape. Sportsbooks brace for Travis Hunter Heisman futures to cash." And here's the quotes from someone who works at one of the big sports books out there.
A former recurring guest on our bet show.
Really?
Me and Trey.
Actually?
Yes.
Damn. Quote, "We're not in good shape on Hunter, and we're not in good shape on Genty." So just to sum it up, we're not in good shape. He says, "It's going to be very good for our customers. There were certainly some bets on Travis Hunter leading into the year and throughout the year. Probably one of our most popular selections throughout the summer."
Yeah. I forget last week who dropped it in the chat. They said they got Travis earlier this season at plus 6,000 to win Heisman.
Yeah. Yeah, that was
Crazy.
probably not at a Vegas sports book, but I know several people who got that number.
Nuts.
Another quote, "As far as Hunter is concerned, he plays both ways. The team was winning." Actually, this is just about Travis. He doesn't actually say anything. They're preparing to lose a lot of money.
Yeah. Well, and a lot of people have tried to make the case like, oh, they're just trying to get more money on Genty, this, that, and the other. Like, of course they're trying to get more money on Genty because they know they're going to lose a lot of money on Travis.
Yeah.
They're trying to
Offset.
some of that. They would not be allowing you to get Genty at 10-1 when they're already like they're very exposed on him. But they're confident enough that Travis is going to win it that they're hoping that the Genty bros, who are in everyone's mentions, who I think at least 40% of them are just bots,
The Mountain West Deep State.
but they're hoping that they're willing to put their money where their mouth is when they say that it's going to be Ashton Genty to try and help them with some of the losses that they're going to incur on Travis Hunter. So again, it's not always right. It's not 100%. But also Dennis Dodd released a straw poll today. Now, there's so many Heisman voters, but
Yes.
he polled 3% of them. Small sample, but a sample nonetheless. 29 Heisman voters. 20 of them cast their first place vote for Travis Hunter. 8 of them cast their first place vote for Ashton Genty. 1 of them cast their first place vote for Dylan Gabriel, and that is crazy. But
what's the argument for Dylan Gabriel being your first place vote for Heisman?
He's the
quarterback of the number 1 team.
Exactly. And
which is not a good case, but it is one that has been used many times in
many times.
But anyways, that's a small percentage of the voters, but a large percentage of those guys picking Travis Hunter.
Yep.
All right, next super chat is 2 combined, so let me get through it. FC Medina Miller said, I mean, if that's the case, then why not pull up Shador's stats and not make the same argument for him not being in the Heisman running instead of the Oregon QB? Hashtag politics, shut up. And then there's the stats, 368 more passing yards, 7 more TDs, and 2 more interceptions and one fewer games than Gabriel.
You can make that case all day long, and I will just sit here and tell you to preach. But in the end, they've got to have the quarterback of the number 1 team in the mix. It's just the way it's always been. And I do believe there was some pushback to the thought of having 2 Colorado players here in New York City.
Of course. I think that's the root of it.
Has to be, because Shador Sanders should be here in New York City as a Heisman
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, what was the stat about the Johnny Unitas Award? It's like however many quarterbacks in the last however many years.
Mm-hmm.
You win that award, you go to the Heisman ceremony.
Definitely.
Nasty work.
Next super chat from Tom Carlson. After Travis Hunter wins the Heisman tomorrow, can you please do a top 10 list of the wildest statements the BSU fans, Boise State fans, fan base has made in their anti-Hunter campaign? Man, that fan base is a goat rodeo. Can't wait for tomorrow. Hashtag SCO.
Allie, just make sure you have the graphics for Receipt Street.
All right.
Oh, Receipt Street tomorrow? Let's go, baby.
I'm going to, okay. All
Hell
right.
yes.
We're going to take a little drive.
Hell yeah. Oh, I thought we were done for the drives for the year.
Oh, my God.
People are asking about content for tomorrow.
Stay tuned.
What it's going to be like.
Stay tuned.
First of all, I mentioned it a little bit earlier, but Ryan Green and I have been working on a project that I think is going to be really, really cool for you guys to see when it comes to light. Second of all, just wait till you guys see the show tomorrow. Just wait.
Tap in.
Chat's very excited about Receipt Street.
Hell yeah, they love Receipt Street.
All right. FC Medina Miller also added, pun intended, deduct Gabriel.
Because it has duck in it.
Thanks for
We need
explaining
the
that one
pun
to
master,
us.
to get all these. Thank you, man. Thank you for the super chat.
All right. East Coast Kev
My guy.
said,
Kev.
let's all congratulate Bill Belichick on his new endeavors with North Carolina. I'm sure he'll have no problems gelling with 20-year-olds. Wink, wink. Cheers to the soon-to-be Hugh Hefner of college football.
Wow.
Kev.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kev. Once again, thank you, Kev.
East Coast Kev. I'm East Coast RK right now. East Coast Jake, East Coast Scott.
Yeah.
Okay, Christopher says there needs to be a Heisman for fans. Let's call it the Peggy.
Oh.
The Heisman of fans.
Yeah.
I like that.
It's
That's
Heisman
a really good
for
idea,
fans, but
actually.
I think, that's what
Or the Copham Award.
That's got a ring.
It does.
That's got a ring.
Travis was asked today whether he would want to be named after a shoe or an award.
Bro, and they didn't give us credentials.
And he actually thought about it for a little bit. He was like, that award going to last forever, so I'm going to go with the award. But that's just a glimpse into the questions that my guy was being asked today.
What are the options here? So, like, does Jordan count? Is that being named after a shoe?
Yes. It's like that, like, having a Jordan, having your own signature shoe or having an award named after you.
Or on a shoe named after you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You said it the other way around.
Did I? What did I say?
You said it be named after a shoe or an award. So I was like, your options are being named Jordan or Heisman? Yeah. Okay, so you get your own signature
My
shoe,
bad. Easy.
the Travis 2s or whatever.
Yeah, or the Travis Hunter Award, something like that,
Or and he said award.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the right decision.
Yeah. Okay, one more super chat. Steffi said, Chicago internet auntie here. You guys
Auntie.
are so auntie. Sorry. Different parts of the country say different things.
It's all right.
You guys are so fun to watch with a bunch of exclamation marks, Scotty in all caps.
Let's go. Shout out Chicago.
go.
Shout out Auntie.
Let's go.
You the best.
Dang, I forgot that we're in your city as people think that you look like Derek Jeter.
Apparently, the latest one is Paulo Banchero.
Yes.
Bro, literally, I was in the barbershop last week, and I'm literally in the chair getting a cut. And another barber from across the damn barbershop just says out loud, "Hey, bro, anybody ever tell you like Paulo Banchero?" And I didn't even look over at him. I just knew he was talking to me. I'm like, yeah, bro, I heard that before. And somebody else dropped it in the chat today talking about Paulo Banchero.
We got to get you in a Yankees hat walking around out here.
Wait, Travis again today said, I think Colorado's the best state. I don't want to move.
I didn't hear that.
Sean
Okay,
Payton.
confirmed.
If there is any chance the Broncos brass is listening to this, I don't care what it takes. Make it happen.
It's going to take a lot.
I'll say this. When we were at the open practice, all the way back in August,
Yeah.
Denver Broncos representation was there. Mm-hmm. And this was before we knew that Bo Nix was going to be Bo Nix.
Right.
I was still, kind of hoping that Shore would be a Bronco. Mm-hmm. And I walked up to George Payton, said, "What's up? We kind of know each other," type of thing.
Yeah.
And I mean, immediately he just goes, "Is Travis practicing?" So the Broncos at least have had their eyes on Travis Hunter.
Oh, my God. Bro.
And so, yeah.
Don't do this to Jake.
You're about to get this man
Don't
turned
do
up.
this to Jake.
I can't handle
The
this.
Broncos move mountains to get Travis Hunter on your roster. Just do it.
All right. We've got a few more super chats now.
Let's go.
Last minute additions. Okay. Cooper said Trav won 70% on straw poll, 60% of AP Player of the Year votes, and John T won Maxwell. Oh, battery died. Give us a second, guys. Let me finish reading.
I've got it, if you want me to read it.
No. I think Trav will win, but it won't be a blowout. Sco Trav.
I don't care what it is.
Just as long as he has one more
As
first
long
place
as-
vote than Ashton Genty.
As long as justice is served. Well, it's not necessarily having more first place votes. It's having more points.
total points.
Yeah. But in the straw poll, of the 29 voters, 20 had Travis first, 7 had him second. Mm-hmm. So, again, if you don't get first and it's a points business, you just want to make sure you get second. So 27 of the 29 hit him first or second. That is a very, very good sign.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, give me 1 second. Okay. Next one is from Laura.
The GOAT.
Will there be a post-cocktail team DNVR Heisman pose?
Post-cocktail team DNVR Heisman pose.
Tomorrow night.
Maybe. We might be...
Is Scott going to be more happy about it?
Definitely. Hell yeah.
Everyone's happier when they're amongst their people.
Oh, God.
All right. Don said, this journey has been amazing to watch and even better watching with the DNVR crew. Heisman,
Squad.
of course.
Shout out Don
Appreciate
Spelled
Peasy.
the Travis way.
Yes.
Don Peasy's been in the chat for
The day one.
damn near as long as I
For
can
real.
remember.
Yeah.
And then Varian, I'm so sorry if I pronounced your name wrong. There was a question asked today. The voice sounded familiar, like an Allie we know, but seemed shady about when did CP contact Travis? Was it shady?
I love how y'all looking
Ally.
at me.
You were there.
Sorry.
I mean, what is the question asking?
Someone asked,
Was it shady? I don't think it was shady. I know that's how everybody is interpreting it as.
what was the... Okay, take me back. Take me inside the moment.
A reporter we all know, a local Colorado reporter.
I love that you're not throwing them under
so
the bus.
nice.
It's fine. It's right. You're doing the right thing.
asked Travis basically about who contacted who first out of high school between Travis and Coach Prime. And Travis said, I actually reached out to Coach Prime. And this reporter actually looked back at me and was like, did you know that? And turned around maybe 5 minutes later and doubled down on the question and asked Travis, So just to clarify, so it was you who reached out to Coach Prime all those years ago, and Travis goes, yeah. And that was pretty much it.
And so people are thinking that they were like trying to catch them in some sort of violation or something like that.
That's what I've seen people make comments of like that. The questioning was shady, and they were trying to get them caught up a little bit. But I generally don't think it was that way.
I don't think it's that way either. I think that's just rare.
It is.
And I think that's why
And that's what he was getting at.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And if that's true, I mean,
because he also mentioned
it's a great chapter of the story.
Travis also mentioned Coach Prime was in the hospital at this point. So their first conversations was when Coach Prime was sitting in a hospital bed, you know. So I think that was really all it was to it, y'all.
What a wild thing. I mean,
yeah.
It's this whole saga, man.
And like, it sounds silly to say, but like, Travis Hunter reaching out to Deion Sanders changed my life.
Yeah.
It
Same here.
Like, our lives, bro.
I know.
It changed our lives.
But like, that sounds crazy to say.
Yeah.
Like, we're sitting right here right now because of that. Like, the three of us together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because of that. Like,
No doubt.
That's a wild way to look at things.
Life
All
is
right.
crazy.
2 more super chats. Stevie said, "Are you going to the ceremony? Will you be live if not?"
We're actually taking tomorrow off.
We will not be at the ceremony. I don't want to put this person's name out there because it's irrelevant. But a very, very, very famous person got turned away from the ceremony. That is how hard it is to go to the ceremony.
Wow.
There's only a few seats, I guess. There's no media other than, ESPN is that
Right.
who's broadcasting it? ESPN.
I mean, it's ESPN. It's always players, coaches
Yeah,
of
so
the
there's
guys.
former
And then the former winners are on the stage. Yeah.
former winners, family of the players. I'm guessing, Shador and Coach Prime.
Of course. I mean, shoot, man. I mean, who said, like, Coach Swick, like, all these guys, you know what I mean? Like,
But outside of that, let's just say you were like an incredibly famous musician. I won't get specific of a genre. You can't go.
It's crazy.
You
Hot
can't
ticket.
go. So we will not be at the ceremony. Even RG and Scott, who will be on the premises of the ceremony, unfortunately don't get to go inside.
Yeah.
But we will have a very, very, very special edition of the show for you guys tomorrow.
we're working tomorrow?
We are working tomorrow. Lock in. We might be going to get fitted for suits tomorrow.
Really?
We might.
That's news.
Working, not twerking.
All right. Big 216 TZ sent a super
Big
sticker.
Big TZ in the house.
Super sticker. Pair character jumping up and down saying #1 fan.
Hell yeah.
And then
Shout out
we
to
got
Pears.
2 more. They're killing us. We got 2
Pears.
more super chats coming in. DMG Music Group LLC said can't wait to see the Heisman postgame show squad. And then Christopher said, if we keep super chatting, do they have to stay on? Please don't.
Nope. That's
Ali
the
is
end of the show.
really hungry.
I haven't eaten food in...
The only food that they brought in here, which was incredible, was
Fire.
pizza. Allie couldn't eat it, so we need to get her some food.
Yes, please.
Chat, we will be back tomorrow.
Tune in.
Yeah.
Let me just say, projected time of us going live, I think I heard that they're going to announce the winner around 8:45
Eastern.
Eastern time. Is that right?
Yes.
We will be live around then.
All right.
You are not going to want to miss this one.
Legendary.
Legendary.
See you guys tomorrow. Let's go Buffs.
Let's go Buffs.
Go Buffs.
We all silly like the mayor.